Hello and welcome to the stream. Hi. This is me waving. Hey, no face cam today because my hair's still wet and all that jazz. It's just better to have the top down view when we're painting anyway. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Hi to Rin, who is the first in the chat. What's up? And Kendall is back from a long way, saying that she missed us all. We missed you. We are so glad to have you back. Alessandra saying, hey everyone. How is your trip, Kendall? Tell us everything about everyone and how they're doing. Rin says, just watch Anna's hair's droplets dripping on the paint. That's my water. It's how I use my hair as my brush. It's called art, okay? Kendall says it was long. I understand. We're very glad to see you. I'm going to be painting traditionally today. I've got all my materials out here. I got my Arches paper. I've got my sketchbook in case we want a sketchy. Also, welcome. And today I'm going to be playing with acrylic gouache. This is a rarely seen medium on this channel because I am a little against the idea that something cures when it dries. It means it feels a little bit limited, especially with paint on the palette. It feels like if it dries, I've wasted some of it. So we're just gonna fight that feeling and have fun today because I really want globs of paint. I haven't had globs of paint in a while. We've been working with gouache, which is absolutely lovely, but it's been a little bit on the thinner side, kind of like a ish watercolor. And so I wanna plop around some paint in a thick way. So I have an idea in mind of what I want to paint, and we're just starting from total scratch. I think I might be bold today and go for like an entire sheet of this watercolor paper. This is, let's see here, specs, 140 pound cold press, 9 by 12 inches or centimeters there for you in the lovely metric system. So this is a pretty big boy. I'm not used to working this large, but honestly, I kind of want that. I kind of want to go out of my comfort zone today because I'm just feeling like it's the time to do it. There's no time like the present, right? I don't want to go to my grave thinking I could have painted those flowers with the acrylic gouache like I wanted. Suddenly I'm Dumbledore. But the first one, I love that Dumbledore. Was it Richard Dreyfuss? Am I crazy? Is that his name? Anyways, he was a wonderful Dumbledore. Just using some old painter's tape that I had on my palette because I like to reuse as much as I possibly can with all materials, but one of those things is painter's tape. You can also use washi tape, whatever kind of tape, whatever floats your boat. I'm not very precise with this. I know that a lot of painters would be, but I'm seeing this as a study more than a like, oh, this is a painting that I'm going to sell, because I am not confident enough to feel like I am a painter that sells my originals. So to get there, to get to the point where I am uber confident and I'm like, yeah, this is worth $10,000 or whatever, I'm going to paint. And that's what I encourage y'all to do as well, because you're never going to get there if you don't just start. So, fighting fears, putting down tape, all good things on a Thursday, yeah? Yeah. Alright, now we've got it taped down. I don't know that it's super important for the usual reasons that we tape it down. So usually when we're doing like watercolors and gouache, it's all about the fibers of the paper are basically like tight and dry. But once you wet them, they loosen up and warp a little bit, especially if there's an inconsistency of wet to dry of the paper fibers. So what you want to do is wet it all down as evenly as possible, let it dry, preferably, I've found success at least, letting it dry with something heavy on top of it when it's in those like last stages where it's not completely dry, but it's not wet. But anyways, today I'm just gonna try going for it without doing that first. So this could warp once again. This piece of paper is burned in my mind, as in it is useless. It does not exist, and thus anything I do to it cannot harm it. That's the mental state I'm in. I'm going to very, very, very loosely block out what I want on this paper. Ooh, Akame has a question real quick. Oh, and Kendall has this paper. That's awesome. I'm going to be a little late in catching up to the stream. Sorry, we don't have Anthony today, but he's got stuff he's doing right at this moment. So good for him. So Akame says, hi, is hot or cold press better? That is a question that does not have a yes or no answer or whatever. I don't have like a hot or cold is better. It really is up to your preference. What I did was I got 3 different sheets of Arches paper because I've always heard that Arches is good. Honestly, I am not, I don't love one brand above others. I've only ever used like 2 or 3 maybe, and Arches is the one that I remember, so I like it. Anyways, so I tried hot press, cold press, and rough, which were all on sale on Blick's site. And I just got the biggest sheets of them. They came in like 24 by 18 or something. And that was a really fun learning experience where I just basically like chopped that paper into small pieces, as big as I wanted, but usually they were pretty small, honestly. And then I used these little odd cuts, just the little bits at the end, to test out my watercolors on them and my gouaches and all that stuff. And I really figured out through that process what I wanted from each kind of paper and what fit me best. Now with that, I learned through my experience, see, this is where I don't know that my experience would be directly applicable to advice. I like cold press. Honestly, I like all of them. I like cold press for a moderate amount of texture. It's like the middle ground between hot press and rough. And then I like the hot press for a smoother finish, basically. Like all the colors run together a little bit. You get a little less texture, but I find both of them really beautiful, honestly. I think that hot press was my favorite for a wet on wet technique where you have the entire paper has like a wash of some color or whatever, like you paint, say, the background in, and then while it's still wet, you paint the main elements in and the colors bleed together. I did that on a monkey piece. Let's see if I have an extra one down here. Sorry, aha, I do. So this, I think, yeah, this is actually the hot press paper. So you can see the look that it achieves. It's a little bit less texture of the paper and a little bit more paint centric. Does that make sense? And it also dries a little bit quicker in my experience, so you get a little less of the bleed through. You can see the edge of the fur for the monkey, especially like around that left shoulder right here. You can see how it bled into the background, but it definitely isn't as intense as some of the other ones. If I can... Oh, I guess you can see kind of around the face, the edge of the bottom of the chin and everything. That means that the paints were a little bit more wet when they were applied. Of course, it's all a timing thing, so if you think I'm going to control that, you'd be wrong, because it's very hard to control. I have another hot press one, but do I have another cold press? Okay, want to see a wildly experimental one? Wait. Oh, here's one that I never finished. Interesting. Oh, sorry. I'm just bending things. This is, I believe, the rough paper. Check out that texture. Holy heckers. So the watercolor itself has some texture. It looked like it was very, very wet when everything bled together. But look at that paper texture. It's just honky, chunky. So, yeah, that was dry, or wet on wet. Cold press, hot press, very different amounts of water as well. I think that this one can handle a lot more water. This one is just a little bit more resistant to it or something. Maybe this is more resistant. I can't remember. There are like actual watercolor painters who could tell you what it means to be resistant or not, because I think that resistant means that the water stays on top of the paper for longer, so it gives you a little bit more time to zhuzh things. But really, I'm not the person to ask about all the in-betweens. This is like one of those offcuts that I was talking about where it's like just taking a little slice of paper and trying out different techniques. Say I paint like a tiny little Or maybe like a gradient from like, okay, here's just a thing of water on each type of paper. So imagine there are 2 more of these and they're all different types of paper. Then you put a zhuzh of water on here, and then on each end of the zhuzh you put a very saturated point of color, and then you can test on each one of them how far it flows into the water. And I think that's one of the good tests that I like doing for the paper, just to see how it takes in the color, the pigment, and all that stuff. Oh my gosh. Dark Hours says, Anna got Liquitex acrylic wash. I'm so happy for you. That's the good stuff. Yes. So as I was saying before, this I am a little intimidated by just because it dries and it cures when it dries. So I can't like lift it back up off the palette if it dries. So I actually have a water mister. This looks like a fancy water mister. It's usually for my plants. But anyways, so just in case it starts to dry up on the palette, just keep a water mister handy. Yes, Joe, you know about that good stuff. I'm hoping to... Oh my gosh, Joe also came into the chat with first contact. Oh my gosh, I love it. Rin loves the texture. Jessica says, love to see Anna's artwork. Thank you, Jessica. Oh. Yeah, that was actually the monkeys. It's funny that, oh, Dark Hours, I have not considered a wet palette. I've heard of them, but I've never, it's funny, I've never bought a palette. As someone who makes art all the time, I do not buy palettes. No, I have 99% of my art equipment is inherited, and so I just take whatever palette is here. This right here that I'm going to be using as my palette today is literally the lid to a palette that was given to me. So yeah, that's just how I am. But you never know. Maybe I could change someday and get a fancy wet palette and be like, I'm a cool kid. Look, Dark Hours, I know what I'm doing. I'm just very loosely here trying to figure out what kind of... I want like a ribbon bounding a bouquet of flowers. That's kind of the goal here. I have done this style of painting before, but never in a large format like this. So really the goal is here to do what I usually preach, which is if you're trying to test out something like an unfamiliar medium or an unfamiliar subject or something like that, that you take one of the challenges off the table. So if I've already drawn / painted this kind of thing before, I've worked out some of the kinks and I know a little bit more what I'm doing. Thus, I can concentrate on trying to figure out the new whatever I've been adding to the pile of things that I'm trying to learn. So I'm trying to learn acrylics today, and I'm gonna try to use my previous knowledge and make it good. And it was good. And if you're just joining us, I am looking forward to painting with goopy paint. That's really the goal. Let's see. Dark Hours says, can you tell I'm trying to hype myself up for a long day? You are doing amazing. Oh, I love it. Also, thank you, Rin, so much for posting the reference that I'm going to be using today. It is a beautiful Pinterest bouquet, and I'm going to be very loosely inspired by it. It's not something where I'm going to be like, oh, the petal's off or whatever. I'm literally just going to take the colors and the values and try to make something cool out of it. So, let's get started. Okay. Where do I start? I'm thinking let's do a creamy kind of white and see if we can blotch in some of those things. You know, honestly, with opaque colors and paint or mediums like this, I don't need to be super delicate with doing light to dark. I'm used to that because of like gouache and watercolor, right? You got to kind of save your white space on the paper. So I'm kind of tempted to just jump in. Let's do orange. Let's just try it. I'm going to do like a light corally orange. I'm going to blop out some white. We will see what kind of colors we make, friends. Also, I am very disorganized with my palette, so sorry about that. I know you want it to be very satisfying, but this ain't the satisfaction stream. This is where we learn and do wrong and then get it right. All right, I'm going to see what kind of pinks come out of this. Ooh. All right, so that was white and scarlet. We also have a different kind of red that's a little bit darker and more purpley, and it's called primary red. No, that's not going to go. It's fine. So anyways, this is scarlet. Scarlet and white. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Oh my gosh, I already love how goopy. Goopy, goopy boy! Okay, so this is kind of perfect for the pink already, but I want to add some yellow so we can get closer to that orange. Ooh. So I'm going to use primary yellow. I'm already getting low on this one. Come. Oh! Did you guys see that parkour it did? Wow. That was amazing. Haha, there you are. Can't believe I'm already getting low on these. Yellow is also something that definitely goes away quickly because it's not as powerful as other colors when you're mixing it. Like, especially if you're trying to make an orange, usually you take like a bunch of yellow and the tiniest drop of red and it will do the thing. All right, let's do this. I want an orange right here. Oh my gosh. I have so missed having goopy paint, you guys. I don't know. There's something about it. All right, so whoop. Really loading up the brush. It's a thick brush, loaded. And you get that nice texture with it. It does have a bit of a smell. Not my favorite smell. A bit of a smelly smell. A smell that smells smelly. Yes, I am Mr. Krabs. Deal with it. And I'm gonna just do really loose marks right about now because I wanna. Honestly, this is, again, what I said before about this this painting already being dead to me, where it's like, I can't screw it up because it's burned paper or whatever. That kind of mentality means I'm not doing this to make a painting. Like, this is not something where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see how it turns out or any of that. I'm literally, my biggest objective is that I enjoy what I'm doing right now, which I am very much enjoying, just like blopping the paint. So I'm glad, I'm happy I'm here, and I'm happy you're here. Oh. All right, I'm gonna zhuzh some of this orange around just to kind of give myself little bits. I think I'm gonna cut around these eventually with other colors. So you might get some cool edges, you might get some interesting mixes of things next to each other. But they're not necessarily in the, what do you call it? The inspo picture. Oh my gosh, yes. 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 I might actually do an orange ribbon. Might eventually make it yellow, and then we can have this orange underlayer to kind of give it a little body. And again, I'm probably going to cut around this more carefully, so it's not that it has to be perfect. And maybe I just want a really roughly done ribbon. I don't even know if I like it because I never do this. I never do this, friends, and I love it. Why do I not do this more often? Yeah. See, there are bits of paper, you know those gouache brushes that they give you digitally? I wish I could get this close to the camera. The gouache brushes that they do digitally are so hard trying to make this edge happen. It's like, you know, the digital want to like chase after traditional media and like replicate the juiciness. That's the exact edge that they're going for, and that's why sometimes it's really nice to have a wash on the paper beforehand, because in those Craigs I could get whatever color is the wash underneath coming through, Now I don't mind at all having white be my color coming through from underneath. I actually really like it. It's just if you want a different color, think ahead and do a wash. And usually I do washes for watercolor and gouache. You've probably seen it if you've seen one of my traditional streams. Also with this ribbon, I want to think about thick to thin. So that it can kind of feel like it's folding even just in a basic shape of what it is. What it is. A lot more thick here, and I could probably thin that part out with the background color if I want to paint that in eventually. All right, so we've got some orange in. Hey, Clever Devlin says, taking notes, replicate the good goopiness, the goop. It's very important goop. Rin says, goopy paint ASMR. A smell MR. Is that when we have 4D experiences and we can like smell-o-vision it? All right, let's get more into this pink. I think I might want more white in it. And I'm also going to add some more water to make sure it doesn't dry out. See, I'm already thinking of a future where I just buy tubs of this paint. Oh, it's so nice and goopy. Okay, so we've got these lovely pink flowers in the reference photo. I'm going to go for a top right one. One that kind of sticks out from the crowd. She's different from the other girls. I kind of want a transition to happen where it's a little bit more, whoops, didn't really fully mix that. It has more of that scarlet in the center. Just like for, I don't know if you can see it that well on camera, but in the middle of the orange guys, these have more yellow in the center. This is one where I'll definitely have to post pictures after the stream on the Discord to show you guys the texture that we got. Oh yeah. All right, and then we've got a big pink. Big Pink. That's the name of a building in Portland. Big Pink. Down here, and I have like a folded petal. These are, I believe, poppy flowers. The reference that I'm using is poppy flowers. So they're very large and in charge petals. Kind of fabric-y almost, like pleated skirts. They're absolutely beautiful. But again, we're taking inspo. We're not necessarily replicating. Okay, and then we've got white flowers, cream flowers. There's some very, very light pink in the back. Let's get some of that. There's like a really pink rose, or light pink rose. I'm gonna spray my palette just to be safe. Also helps to get the right essence of goop. Essence de goop. I really need to work on my setup to get this looking right for you guys. I wonder if I can... Let me just fiddle with this for a second. I wonder. I zoomed in slightly for you. Sorry, it's not perfect, but neither am I and neither are we. No one is, it's fine. Okay. Kendall says, ooh, Orange got distracted by a side combo. Speaking of flowers, I'm gonna update my profile pic because I got pics in front of flowers. Yes! I love a good profile pic of flowers. It just makes me think you're having a good time, you know? I'm very glad that you got to do that. Where were the flowers from? I'm gonna do just some really light stuff over here. Not as light as I was intending, but who cares? Love the color palette already just looking at this. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna go in with some intense white with just a little tiny touch of the orange and pink that's probably all just in my brush already. So I'm just gonna use what's in my brush to mix with this, because I want like a very, very light cream. I think this needs more yellow, so I'm gonna dip into our little pile here. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Excellent. 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 Perfect. Okay. Check that out. Love color mixing. Let's see. Kendall says the Tacoma road trip. Oh my gosh. Tacoma, Washington. We got dressed up for the sisters' graduation. The first day we did all the fun stuff and and it was really pretty on campus. The walking graduation day was all rain though. All rain. Hail the rain. I am so sorry that it was all rain, but that is what the Pacific Northwest is known for. So you got the authentic appeal, you know? I'm gonna make a flower there, a flower up here. Like, look at that coverage. I could just cover over that pink so easily. That's amazing. Oh, so opaque, which means it's infinitely editable, which is dangerous. You'll notice I'm using my big chunky brush as well. I have so many small brushes now. I have a great fine liner that I use pretty often. And it's dangerous, man. If you really want to get into it, you can get into the nooks and crannies. And that, to me, is somewhat torture. So, wow, I can't believe that. That cream covered up that orange. Such a strong color, instantly covered. I love it. Ugh. Ugh. I'm questioning whether I want some kind of, like, what kind of background color do I want? I might do a light blue, because there's no blue in this at all. And I think it would be really fun to do touches of blue, especially within the dark greens of the foliage. So, I'm gonna dapple some more of this in here, actually, as the light. There's like baby's breath or something. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add the tiniest touch of blue to this cream and see what that does. Blue's a pretty powerful color as well, so we'll see what happens. Let's just try it here on the base of the palette. Here, I'll work right here. Wow, see how powerful that blue is? Hot dang. And because the cream is full of a lot of different colors, it's adding a lot of like desaturation to the blue because it's being mixed with things that, oh, look how pretty the brush is right now. Oh, I love that blue to pink shade. The gradient. I got it on me. But anyways, yeah, that kind of stuff. The like, oh, it's cream that has not only red but yellow, a ton of white, and then you're adding blue to it. So you're mixing blue with yellow, which would be a little greeny. You're mixing blue with red, which would be a little purpley. There's just so much mixing going on within one little pile, which is very cool. I like it. It just tones it down just ever so slightly. It's still a very saturated blue, but just not so much. Like, as you know what I mean. It's like, it's not a crazy saturated, but it's also, it came from crazy saturated. That little dab down there is like so blue. Alright, I'm gonna test it and see if I like that next to it. I wanna actually do more blue. I'm gonna add some water. Keep it juicy, baby. You probably can't even tell the difference between those two. I think that's good. I might change it. I don't know. Zoop, zoop. No, I think that's lovely, actually. Oh, it's interesting. There is a tiny bit of warping when it comes to the paper, but not a ton. Some of these edges I want to be very goopy, the paint. But I also, some of them I don't mind having that texture of the brush come through. Or, sorry, I should say the paper. Whoa, that pink coming out up there? Oh my gosh. Do you guys see that? Probably not. There's pink up there. See? It's because I started getting to the base of the brush. And now it's like pink and blue mixing up here. It's like a little cotton candy moment. Now I want more of that pink up there. It just feels right sometimes. Happy accidents, you know? Okay, I don't want the camera or the tripod to fall off the desk, so you're back with me. Jake Green's in the chat, what's up? Ren says, messy Anna. Oh no. Cold dang. What does that even mean? Kendall says, apparently my photos are too big for Discord, so I have to edit before they go up, I guess. That's unfortunate. Darn, you're too powerful. Okay. Hey Jake, how are you doing? You having a good day so far? Hopefully so. We are painting with acrylic gouache, and I'm having the time of my life. We're pretending that this paper has like burned in a fire, so we're not actually painting on the paper. What we're doing is we are practicing, and nothing is being wasted. So that's how I can mentally deal with not caring about what I'm creating. Okay. Now that we kind of have an idea of the background, I might change it still. Whoops. That pencil went rogue. What I want to do is get some of the dark greens of the florals. So we have two greens to choose from. There is, let's see here, emerald green and viridian hue. Wow. So this one's much more blue and a little bit darker. So I'm thinking that's the one we go for, because the reference image that I am looking at is very, very dark and very, very blue in the foliage. I'm just going to use some of this blue, because again, waste not, want not. And I'm thinking we're going to have to add some of the primary red, not only to, oh come on now, to darken it up, but also to dull down the saturation of it, because right now it's very hyper blue-green. What is it? Kendall says, I'll probably throw them into Photoshop or Lightroom. I wish you all the luck, Kendall. I really do. Let's see what a little tiny bit of primary red does. Oh yeah. Whoa, there's so much blue in the green that it's actually turning out purple. Is that crazy or what? Okay, let me show you. You see that? What? Madness. Why not use some of it? I like that as like a shadow color for this. So I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to put it right here. Boop. As like the ultra dark green moment. I have some of it going through here. Might need to start getting to the smaller brushes just so I can get a little bit more finicky. I don't know, as long as our values are good, we should be able to get away with some really loose brush strokes. Do you like how I talk? It's good. Good talk. I'm gonna add some of these in here so that I can brush over them in the future and have some darker spaces behind the newer brush strokes. Not as goopy as I need. Gotta goop it up. Okay. I am going to actually dip into our emerald green because I found that the viridian green was just so much blue in there. It was almost a blue. Alright, check this out. Here, I'm gonna take all this stuff off the palette so I can show you close up what's happening to the colors. Whoa, that's really close up. There we go. So this green area, oh no, there we go, this green. So you can see hopefully that it's very blue on this darker green underneath, and then I added the red and it became almost purple. And then here's the new green. I'm gonna mix that in and see what happens. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Hopefully something cool happens. Cool, you get it? It still needs to be toned down for sure, so I'm going to dip into some of this very carefully. That was the Scarlet, a little bit more. Definitely take some of the saturation out of it, but it's still a very vibrant green. Sorry, you can't see. Zoop. It's very vibrant and very... It's like a dark mid-tone. It's in between. See. Ooh, Kendall says I have a lot of video. I was, depending on time, planning on making a short mini vlog with pics, but I have a lot of things to catch up on before I do that. Oh my gosh, I would love to see that. So funny. It's like a trip that James and I took once to the coast. I was like, I'm gonna get so much footage and I'm gonna make a video of it and it'll just be like our home video and yay. And then still haven't touched that footage. It takes a lot of work, you know, editing. Kind of crazy. I'm gonna see if any of this orange can do something. Yeah, I kind of lightened it and desaturated a little bit, which is good. Zoop. This is definitely not a usual color that I work with, so it's a little foreign to me. I think now I actually am gonna switch to a smaller brush, much smaller actually, just so that I can have that much more control. Take some of this paint off. I'm stealing your essence. I will keep that brush on hand for any other purposes that I see fit. Zoop, zoop. Paintbrushes are also just so unpencil-like, if you didn't notice. But they don't do what I want them to do all the time, and I have to get used to using them again. Like, oh wait. This isn't gonna be a direct one-to-one correlation with what my brain wants it to do. Which is fine. It's just different. I also don't need to be as precious about this as I feel like I want to be. Because I want abstract marks. I don't want, like, perfectly shaped stems and stuff. Like, it's not like... oh, I need this stem to look like a stem or else they won't know it's a stem. It's much more make cool marks so that it looks cool. Sound good? Sound good. Honestly, I could probably just go in here and just do a big ol' zoop. Actually, let's get that big brush in here once more and just fill this part in. Okay, that was the move. When they pull me back out, or wait, right when I get out, they pull me back in. That's the line. Okay, now going back to the smaller brush to get these little in-between crevices, kind of shaping the flowers as I'm painting as well. Because it's negative spaces. And then we can get into some fun little, like, leafy bits coming off. Ooh, I love leafy bits. Kendall says, if I get a chance this weekend, I'll try to edit something together. That's how it always goes. I always document and then never get around to editing. It's so much. Editing is a lot of work and a lot of time and effort and all that. So don't feel bad about it or anything. It's just, it's the nature of the beast. I'm talking to myself now. Okay, so up here we get some really beautiful alternating leaves on a very thin stem. So I'm just gonna try a little shoot, and then I definitely need more paint for this. It's also drying. No, I will not let you dry. Do not go into that good night. Do not surrender without a fight. We are going to live on. We are going to survive. Today is our Independence Day. Wow. You guys see what I'm doing? Yes. Okay, good. Also, name that movie. The winner gets my respect. Okay, I think I'll do another one right here. Zoop, zoop. Again, just going for like cool marks. Luckily, a paintbrush very much looks like a leaf. It's pretty easy to do that one. Not having to force it too much. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, and then this is where, like, compositionally I get a lot of freedom, because foliage in general, or whatever you want to call this, like the greenery in a bouquet, it really does not at all have to match any reference, because even if you try to match the reference, probably won't look exactly like it does in the picture, unless you're going for like realism with a capital R. I'm sure some people can really achieve, but that is not my goal. I just want the bursting feeling where it's like, it's a poof, like that. So I'm gonna get some like background ones in here. I want like one sneaking out here too. Also looking for balance is a huge thing. Trying to find ways to make sure that the composition doesn't feel too heavy on one side or another. Lovely. I'm loving it. Definitely hitting the goal of just making myself happy by doing something I want to do. Oh man. Rin says, that leafage is just excellent. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Ooh, Kendall says I was attempting to do the Adobe Creator Camp on the side, so at one point I was going to use all of that motivation, but I didn't get to watch any of the lessons due to the road trips. Oh no, I'm so sorry. But yeah, everybody check out Adobe Creator Camp. And Kendall says that's a good goal. Yeah, just to make yourself happy with painting. I think it's the only worthwhile goal right now, honestly. I think we all need some art therapy. And by the way, that reminds me, Annika had a stream not too long ago that was just basically how to, or improving your mental health through art. And I love that so much. Annika's, as always, good as gold. Beep, beep, beep. I'm washing out my brush in general. It's not going to be completely clean. But whatever. Why am I washing this one out? Actually, I want the other one. I want the big boy. Oh, the big one. I want to juice it somehow. I feel like I want all that paint out of there. Should I just do it with my fingers? Is that weird? Juice. That's how much paint I got out. Like, that's a decent amount. It's decent. Worth it, I say. Worth it! Alright, now I'm gonna promptly clean myself because I don't trust paint to not be full of toxic stuff. Oh wow, it really dyes ya. Luckily I've got water here. Water here, get your water here. I told you, Sonny, I got all the water. No one's buying. Actually, we're having a drought in California, so I think somebody's buying. Zoop, zoop, zoop. I also heard something about water poisoning in Hawaii. I really hope that's, that the people are okay. Because hot dang, that would suck. Water is one of those things that everybody's got to have all the time. Kind of essential. Okay. I don't love the shadow color, honestly. That's one of the parts that I'm like, eh. But that's fine. For now, what I want to do is I was going to do the center bits of the flowers because I think that would be really fun. But also, I want to work on the background color because that's what I just zhuzhed out that white for. So, which am I going to do first? No one knows. Let's do the background first. I'm so changeable. I also think, as per usual, after I'm done with the painting of this, I might go in with a color pencil and... Oh, that blue. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Anyways, what I was saying was go in with colored pencils afterward and do my thing, because I do love a good colored pencil. Just to add detail, add color, add fun. Y'all seeing this? Okay, good. Yeah, this really brightens it up with that blue. And this one was just the straight, I think it's primary blue, right? Right. Yeah, primary blue with white. And it makes this beautiful baby blue. There is still a tiny bit of pink in the base of my brush, so that might come out at times as well. Man, I love gloppiness. This is why I really need to get this camera dialed in so that you guys can see all of the texture that I'm getting. I know you can see some of it, but trust me, there's stuff you're missing. Oops. More water. And I'm definitely gonna have to mix more of this, so that's fine. I used to like just cry over having to remix colors because it's like, oh my gosh, I ran out. Which is a good, you know, you should always over mix the amount, honestly, because it's better to have too much than not enough if you really need that exact same color. But now I've kind of let go of the reins a little bit, as with everything. Trying to loosen up is a daily habit. And so I have just kind of let go of the idea that I have to mix the exact right amount immediately or else I'm a failure. So if I need to remix and it's not exactly the same color, no biggie. It's all good. It's just a slightly different color. Jake says, okay, back. The R in the BRB was a soft R. This is so pretty, Anna. Oh, thank you. Kendall says baby blue. Baby blue for life. Against this orange. It's like hyper saturated on the screen when I see it. It looks less intense in person. Gotta say. I think the greens, yeah, the shadow of the green is the only part that I'm not digging right now. And if I color all of this in with the baby blue, I think it's going to be absolutely precious. So, do I want to fix the greens first? I have several things on my to-do list. 1 on my to-do list is fill in the entire background with the baby blue. 2 on my to-do list is put the centers of the flowers in and start getting some of the details on them. 3 is fixing the color of the greens all along here. I think on the whole, honestly, I might do some green zhuzhing, which is cool because honestly, greens are never just their own color. They can be all sorts of different colors. I'm gonna bring in my other big brush. Ooh, twinsies. And what I'm gonna do is add yellow, just the straight, oh, don't you roll into that paint. Don't go into that, good night. So I'm gonna, sorry, can you guys see on the palette? So we've got this green. It's got some orange running into it, totally fine. And we've got yellow over here. And the green is still so blue. So I think this yellow, wow, that was impactful. That's cool. Shoop, 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 shoop. Shoop, 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 shoop. And I want it to be fairly, honestly, this is a good exercise. So if you like your colors on your palette, you're probably gonna like them on the painting, right? So if you're ever wondering like, is this gonna help or hurt the piece, then just look at your palette and see if the colors are working together. Good tip, Anna, good tip. Thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna just go over the areas where we had the shadow especially, because that's the part that I'm just not digging that much now. And then also just paint it in. Zoop. And hopefully we have enough of this color to go around. And it's totally cool if there are little bits of color that don't get covered up, because then we have this lovely randomness where it's not all one uniform color and it's just got this lovely variety to it. Happy accidents all the way. All the way. Zoop. Come on. Zoop. Oh, this is a different brush than what I was using before. That's why it's a little it's a little more difficile to get the exact right marks. Boom. Cool. Okay, I'm much happier with that. That helps me so much. It probably looks exactly the same on your guys' screen. Sorry. Okay, so now that we've done that bit of tidying up, first I'm gonna spritz this again. Which this is not the right sprayer for this. I need something that's much smaller of a spritz. I'm going to do more of this background color because I know that we can do it. We can do it and we need it. And I feel like I'm gonna run out of white first, out of all these paints that I have. Everyone, if you want to support my paint fund, Patreon is the way. Thank you to everybody who signed up there. I promise that all just goes straight back into my equipment, what I give you, and what you give me all goes in a massive circle. I do not like the smell of this paint, but maybe I'll learn to love it. It's fine. It's not overpowering, at least. That's what I'll say. Okay, sorry, I just mixed a massive blob of this blue and didn't show you. Look at that blue. Oh, so pretty. Slightly darker than the previous version, but again, I don't care. But again, I don't care. I don't care what you have to say, Reginald. It's my life. Oh, that's funny. When I sprayed the palette, it got on the paper too, and it actually made some cool, interesting little interruptions in the paint. Again, not looking to get rid of every square inch of white, just in general painting it in. Oh my gosh, having it like just completely cover what's underneath it is just the best. I love it so much. Can't get over it, honestly. So here we get opportunities to go in here and like cut things out. That's completely up to just artistic interpretation. If you want to keep the shape, if you want to change the shape, if you're too lazy to get in there and really zhuzh it. Which I am. Did you notice? I'm one of those people. Zoop, 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 zoop. Zoop. Globby bits. I want to move the paper. Honestly, I don't know if it needs to be taped, so I might untape it and move it. I think I might have to get James into painting with acrylic, because I think he'd like how completely easily you can change and paint over. It's very similar to digital, honestly. It's like you have a completely opaque brush over the previous layers. Which, I mean, he's painted with acrylic, he knows what it's like, but just to introduce, like, hey, this old friend that we haven't talked to in years. They're still cool. Let's hang out. Oh, heck yeah. Okay, chat. Sorry, I'm totally like not paying attention. Sorry. Uh, Jake says BRB again. Is it the dogs? Are they acting up? Alessandra says, I'm back now. Just finished eating dinner. Love this, Anna. Oh, I'm so glad. What'd you have for dinner? Was it delicious? And Rain says, back. Sorry about that. I had to step away a moment to help somebody with a thing. Never apologize. You can do whatever you like. I am just gonna be here, and you can watch now. You can watch later. It's all good. Dark Hour says, I just can't get over how opaque this is. It's so opaque, Joe. It just goes over completely. It's amazing. Oh, Dark Hour says, I wish I invested in this paint earlier. I think you should invest in it right now. Oh, and Kendall says, I miss oil. That's so funny. I was just telling Julia, actually, was talking about, hey, I have some oil paints. Do you want them? I never use them. And I was like, I don't use them either because I need water-soluble paint. This is what I know about myself. Ooh, Alessandra had chicken and rice. Delish. I need to make more rice. Kendall says, oil painting with a palette brush. Wait, it went away. Was my element, but alas, expensive and toxic. It is toxic and expensive. I'm so sorry. Ren says, I will never not apologize. 'Tis your way. Also, the green on your paint palette looks like a pepper. Okay, well, that's very creative of you. Yes, it is a pepper. It's perfect. Kendall says, I'm also allergic to the environmentally friendly natural solvents. That is unfortunate. I am so sorry. I actually got the weirdest sounding paint, which is water-soluble oil paint, and that is the only kind I will ever paint with, of the oils. I don't know how they do it, but it is water-soluble, and I love it. So, that's how I feel about that. Anybody watch Forrest Gump lately? No? Just me? No, actually, we just watched Stranger Things. Got all the way through the season that's now up. Or, sorry, it's like half of a season that they gave. And I need to watch Obi-Wan now. Or wait, is it called Kenobi? Sorry, I don't know what it's called technically, but I want to watch it. And so that might be a tonight thing, depending. Oh, we also watched several episodes, not all of them, but several of Prehistoric Planet with Sir David Attenborough, so distinguished, talking about dinosaurs. They spared no expense. And yes, it was absolutely mesmerizing. The CG that they have with the dinos is top notch, and they mix it in with some of the real life, like, oh, crabs existed back then and crabs exist today, so they have like a crab. And it's very convincing with that mixture. I'm gonna make more blue because we need even more. We need even more. Of course we do, because this is going to be probably the biggest swash of one color. Anthony Sims? What? Anthony in the chat saying, I'm only here for dino talk. Kendall says dino talk is the best. Anthony says this bouquet better be for a dino. Well, if you consider yourself a dino. No, this is just for funsies painting, and we're putting no pressure on it to give it to a dino or anyone. So, like I said at the beginning of the stream, this paper actually burned in a fire, and so we don't have to care about it. We don't have to mourn that the painting isn't as good as it could be. We are just painting on a non-existent palette. It's kind of amazing. Even this paint is actually, it was wasted completely. Like, somebody threw it in the trash, so we don't have to feel bad about, you know, the wrong paint marks and not keeping it. These are all lies that I tell myself to feel okay with wasting, not wasting, sorry, learning on paper. As I said, if we want to get good at something, we have to be okay with being bad at it first. And I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst at painting or anything like that. I'm just saying everybody feels that way. It's never not going to be intimidating for me to start painting on a piece of paper or canvas or whatever. It's always intimidating. And you always feel like, oh man, I'm not gonna be good enough for this blah 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 mind talk. And I'm telling you, it's nonsense. But there are clever ways to get around it. I'm actually very glad that we got this baby blue to be the background color instead of the previous blue, because that previous blue would be almost impossible to mix even semi-similarly. So we got the superior color. I also just think it looks better, so yay. More water. I'm gonna make sure to keep this glob of yellow wet because I wouldn't want to lose a glob of paint. It's okay if some like flat areas of the palette get dry, get lost. But globs is money, baby. Put that on a t-shirt. Oh, sorry, Anthony's only here for Dino Talk. So what's your favorite dinosaur, everybody? Tell me about them. Is their name Velma? Velma the dinosaur? I've always been partial to Stegosauruses, of course. Oh, and plesiosaurs. There are several underwater dinosaurs in Prehistoric Planet. And I'll tell you what, I enjoy watching all of them. Although there's one that looks like plesiosaur. I don't think it's plesiosaur. They're the ones with like the long, long necks that are underwater. And wait, did we just get simulcast? Did I catch that out of the corner of my eye? We did! Hello, Adobe Live! Welcome, welcome, welcome. One and all. Kendall says, hi, Adobe Live. Welcome to Dino Talk. So hi, I'm Anna Davis Court. I'm painting today all on my onesie. Usually I have co-host Anthony, who's in the chat today, and also I usually paint digitally, but today is just that kind of day. So we're painting traditionally with acrylic gouache and talking about dinosaurs because they are the best, and I would very much like to know what's your favorite kind of dinosaur in the chat. Let me know. I think honestly I should be a lot more cavalier with painting in between these leaves because I'm probably just going to paint over them again. So here we go, here we go, here we go again. I need to juice my brush. Sometimes when the globs get deep in the fibers, then I have to juice it out. This is very important to know, also to talk about in that way. There. There. Commit. Commit, Anna. Okay, okay. Alright, 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 alright. Okay, now ladies. Yeah. Lend me some sugar. I am your neighbor. Ah. Okay. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah. Okay, so next we're gonna do centers of the poppies, and then we're going to add some like petals to the roses and other stuff. Okay, sound good? Sounds good. Okay. Let's see. The center is going to be very, 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 very light yellow. I think on all of them, so that's pretty good. And then we have a little bit of a light green center, which is very cool. All right. I can start with our cream color here. I think we'll add some more white. Once again, I'm gonna run out of white first. There we go. Whenever I talk like that, where I'm like, it's because the brush is in my mouth. Not brush side out, just the stick part of it. So, yeah, I hope you understand me. All right, yes, that like very creamy yellow. You see? A boop. Oh yeah. Okay, so this stuff, I wonder what kind of texture I want. Maybe like this. Yeah, I'll just go around like this. Kind of want it to be a drier brush than this, so I'm going to juice it. Nope, that didn't dry it. Kind of wetted it. Zoop. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Sure, as long as it's kind of wackadoodle. That's all I really care about. I want that whack. Okay, and then we've got a pink one. Look at that texture. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeet. And then upper left one. I'm gonna go zoop, 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 zoop. Brilliant. And then this one's technically facing away from us. I guess I can, yeah, do that with the green. Any more like white areas? By the way, we're using a picture for reference for this, so if you're confused as to what I'm talking about, feel free to check out the Discord, because that's where our references live. Let's see if I can kind of imply some petalage here. This is very like cartoon rose right now, but just bear with me. An example, or what do you call it? Like experimentation. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. You remember that now. Ah, this is the first time it hasn't been completely opaque, and it's because there's so much white in it. Interesting. I'm gonna layer it up. Okay. I've got that. I think I'm gonna add some more of the like baby's breathiness over here. Kind of venture out into the great blue beyond. Yeah, that's good. Probably doesn't look like much on camera, but trust me, in person, it adds a nice little layer of like different color on top of each other. Little complexity. By the way, hi Canadian Pulse over on YouTube. Thank you for being here. Anthony says, I want dat whack. Honestly, that's why I'm here. Hey, I'm leaving soon, he says. Monkey Paw says Kendall's, and then Kendall's. Anthony says skip it, because he's gonna be leaving soon. Yeah, we'll skip it for today. It's fine. But remember to take care of yourselves, and if you feel like you could use some stretching, then please do stretch. We usually do a stretch called Monkey Paws here, and if you haven't ever caught it before, you can look at any of our past streams, and about halfway through, Anthony and I do Monkey Paws. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Just doing a little dab, dab, dab. Make it look fab. Okay. Let's see. What else do I want to do? Ooh, actually, a few little flowers in here are like white little daisy looking almost. And they have like a light green center, which I think would be a really nice touch. Then back there, we've got this like layering to the cream. Let's wash out our brush a little bit and kind of use... I like that. Actually, that's better than whatever this was. Interesting. Okay. We still have the pink up here. So I'm going to go in and try to start implying some like petals-ish. And rather than looking at my reference for a ton of like information about how to go about this, what I'm really doing is looking at the paper and trying to figure out what do I want this to look like, and how I can make the marks look cool. I don't know if that's my favorite, but again, we're experimenting. Okay, so this one, if we do like a bit more pink down here. Interesting. Again, not my favorite, but we're learning. Experimentation. Okay, so I also want to get the very, very light green in there, which is going to be really easy with this yellow. We got a light yellow here and then the green over here. You can just take a smidge of that. Ah, it's drying. Gotta zhoosh, zhoosh, zhoosh. I'm just spraying everything with water. If you've ever... Oh yeah, that's perfect. If you've ever... What was I going to say? It's very watery. Worked with acrylic, and when it dries, it can flake off. Oh, it started to do it there. And it is the worst, because then the flakes of dry, cured paint get into your goopy paint, and then it becomes this, like, gross stuff. So, if you can at all avoid that, just keep that, whatever you call it, on hand. You know, the whatever you call it. The spray bottle. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm using some of the background blue and the yellow to make this green. It's not going super well. I want it to be more of a glop, and it's just thin. So I think I have to wait for this to dry more, and then I can go back in and get that glop going. Okay, so for the ribbon, for a second, I'm going to, I think, do... The orange is going to be like the background or like the darker color of the two, and then I'm going to have as the lighter color a gold. So let's see if the rest of this yellow makes a nice gold. Could use a little bit more red. So I want it to be not orange, but not yellow. It's like gold. Do you know what I mean? Like goldenrod. Anthony says, warble more words. It suits you. Gold. If you want to be a lover boy. The... For goodness sake. Oh. Do you know what I'm talking about? Probably not. I was trying to reference Over the Garden Wall. The, oh golly, what is he? He's like the doll maker or something. And he has a very warbly voice. But that was a very unfair impression, so I don't blame you if you didn't get it. So I'm basically pretending like one side of the ribbon is orange and one side is gold. So what we're gonna do is have it kind of flip mentally to create a little bit of depth, have like two sides of it showing. And this is one of my favorite techniques to use for ribbon and for leaves, because giving them just two definitive sides makes it feel very like, I don't know, like a sheet of paper in a lovely way. There. And then if I use some colored pencils on top of this, I could imagine it being very, very lovely. Bringing out some of the depth. Also just adding fun details. Okay, so the green is very one color of green. So I think what I want to do is go in with another color of green. So we can start with the emerald green and add, let's say, a new kind of yellow. Let's try the yellow oxide. Ooh, experimentation. Jake says, love it. Anthony says, you want your ribbons and leaves to look good? Make them look like a sheet of paper. Got it. It's what I said. And I meant it. Alright, switching back over to my green brush. Oh yeah. Let's see what color it makes. Ah, that one does a good job of not only yellowing, but calming down that green so it's not so hyper saturated. Still gonna add a bit of that scarlet. And then I think that this one's calling for is some white. I still want it to be darker than the foliage or the flowers, but I do feel like it could use a lighter, I don't know, like lighter layer. Let's see if some of this creamy pink does the job. I think I like that. Yeah, see, now we can get some like layers to it. And then we can get up in here and add in some of these leaves again. Oh, and this guy, don't forget this. So, can you guys see up there? Let me see. So right here at the top, this flower is facing away, and one of my favorite things to do with flowers is show the under part where they have that green underneath that connects to the stem. There's probably a technical name for it, but I don't know it. And I just love that because it shows so much depth to the structure of the flower. Usually, like when they're flat on facing you, just like, then it can feel very, I don't know, one-noted. If that makes sense. So showing the underside makes me happy. Gotta glop it up, you know? Goopy, goopy boy. And a siren in the distance. How perfect. Oh, what a lovely day. I think also, maybe with colored pencil, maybe with paint, I would love to add some oranges into the greens. Because I really just think that makes green sing whenever there's an orange. And look at these guys together. They're making music. It's beautiful music. Yes, I'm to the point with my sound effects that now when I'm just putting paint on the brush, it's a sound effect. Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear the sirens? I don't know. That's what I'm saying hello to. I don't need to go in and do every single leaf, but I'm just following my flow. Once again, this is just for me to feel happy. So if it makes me happy, then let me do it. Okay, so let's see. What's after this? And then a car honks. Wow. A lot of stuff going on in the world. Tell you what. A dog barking. There's some power tools. Can you guys hear all that? Dang, it's like it really just wants to interrupt. Oh, Anthony's leaving. Bye, Anthony. Have a good day. We love you. Alessandra says, yes, I can hear the sirens, Anna, lol. Anthony says, I hear the stomp, stomp, stomping of Doc Martens approaching my bedroom. See you later. Wow. Something's happening over at his place. The stomp, stomp, stomping of the Doc Martens call. That's a poem. Somebody write it. Quick. I need it. It's called the Doc Martin Cometh. Let's do, I want one of these guys to come out of here. Overlapping our hero flower. I wish I was left-handed sometimes. I'm holding this brush with both my left and right hand. Like this. Like carefully, carefully. So silly. Also, it's really nice actually to see the painting on the screen, the computer screen, because I can look over and see what's streaming. Hello, cars and dogs. So it's helpful to see because then I can kind of zoom out and just see everything all at once. Oh my gosh, I want to see that movie so bad. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Anyways, uh, the ability to see a piece from like far away, especially a bigger one like this is 9 by 12. So getting far enough away to see the entire thing from a distance is kind of hard. Just want to like, I don't know, carve out some of these. I kind of want them to just be balls. Can I just do like an abstract kind of like flower where it's just balls? Little ball of flower sitting in the pretty sun. And the answer is always yes, by the way. If you're asking yourself permission to do something art-wise, the answer is yes. I actually quite enjoy that. Maybe I should do it with like green fading into pink as like the outlining color. That'd be cool. I have this other brush with yellow on it. Interesting, interesting. Okay, let's see if some pink. Let's see if some pink, truly. She is a poet of the times. Okay, this is gonna be my new thing. I paint flowers, but only as abstract shapes. So these ones are circles, those ones are squares, triangles. Honestly, this is like turning into my favorite part of the piece. And that's what you get when you just look at the paper instead of only the reference. Honestly, I only intended to stream today for like an hour, but I'm enjoying myself, so I'm gonna keep going. Thanks y'all for sticking with me. Sorry I'm not talking to you directly as much, but that's just the way it goes sometimes, especially when I'm looking down at my desk and the computer, like, it fully takes my focus away. There's no way to talk and paint today. But that's okay. If you're feeling abandoned, that's okay too. You can leave. It's fine. I kind of want it to go into like obscurity over there a little bit. Maybe I'll have some little tiny marks that fade it off a little bit, and then we can go in with that cream color and make a few more of these circles kind of pop off. I think that would be very cute. Also, time to go in here and touch up our first ever flowers. These guys deserve all the love. I think orange guy needs a lot more like rounding of the petals. Ooh, we could do another, oh my gosh, another back of the flower moment right here. Whatever this is called. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I was making very messy marks. And messy marks have their place, but usually not when it's like very fine detail. Alright. We'll probably have to make more orange, which is fine. What was I gonna do? Oh, a little bit more pink up here, defining out these little circle babies. Circle babies. That's what I'm gonna call baby's breath from now on, circle babies. Jake says, this is so cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see. Oh, Jake says, it's like you have a full collection of sound effects playing in the background. Ode City. Next will come the breaking glass, laughing slash crying babies, and foghorns. Exactly. Kendall says, loving these textures. I'm also drawing floral themes. I'll share in painting along. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. That's awesome. Thank you for painting along, Kendall. It brings me so much joy to know that other people are creating at the same time. Okay. Let's see here. More orange. That's what I say. Morange. Getting some scarlet up in here. Right next to its original blob. And I believe we used, is this primary? Yeah, primary yellow. Should I, I'll put it up here. Probably need much more yellow than the red. And I'll use my, where's my other brush? Haha, found ya. Whoa, don't go rolling. Don't go rolling into things. You know you're gonna cause a lot of trouble. Oh, some green got in there. That's fine. This looks like it's a little bit more orangey, or sorry, scarlety. A little more scarlet at the edge. Well, for some reason that's not going on as opaquely as usual. Maybe it's like it's super opaque on the paper, but once it's painting over itself, it's not as opaque. Maybe, perhaps? Maybe it's an enigma. Oh, I think I did have much more white in the original orange. I need to wash this brush out because it's still got so much green in the center. Stop rolling! Stop it, you problem children. Okay. Here we go. That's very light. See that green coming through every once in a while? I don't know if you guys can get that much detail, but there's still just the tiniest bit of green at the base of this, and it's really annoying. This is probably why painters have 5 million different brushes, right? So they just never touch the color that they don't want in there. Mayhaps. And a crow now? My goodness. What luck. What a lovely day. It's almost like a multiply layer or something. I don't know if you guys can see that very clearly. Alessandra says, I love the colors, Anna. They go so well together. Oh, I'm very glad. Oh yeah, you guys couldn't see that. Sorry. This area. I really like the colors too. I think what they really do well is like they have a very springy vibe to them. They feel celebratory. Just adding little dabs of orange here and there. This is quite the learning experience about flowers as well. I feel like I could already be better at painting flowers after this, which is good, because I want to paint flowers more and more. Okay, so what do I feel about this? Want more orange over here. Oh, we need that bright yellow green right in the center. That's something that will definitely be very cute. We still have some of this? Yes. Okay, we can revive. We can revive! He's alive! Excellent. We just need it to be a bit lighter and a bit more yellow. Honestly, this is like a beautiful sage green. I don't know if you can see that. Woo! But I still think we need more yellow. Just a dabble. Do ya? Come on out. Come on out, buddy. Haha. Yeah, that's the brightness I wanted. Perfection. Okay, now. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Excellent. Maybe we actually dab this around a little bit too. Is that madness? Maybe. I think that having these like little lines within here is a fun thing. I would also like more definition. I feel like maybe a few dark areas would really make that sing. Maybe we go in there and add a little bit of shadow in certain key areas like we wanted in the beginning but didn't really get because I didn't like the color. So to get that, I'm gonna add a little bit of blue. Should we use, oh, let's use the same blue from the background. That might create a nice color harmony. Oh, whoops. It blued in the pink. It blued in the pink, everyone. Calm down. We'll be okay. Okay, let's see. Is that dark enough? Not at all. Okay, go for Ultramarine Blue. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Ah, this one still has its cap on. It's that fresh. I've never used it before. Oh, it came out. Okay, well. The joys of paint, friends. Dangerous to do this over the painting, maybe? Oh, God. You can do it. Okay, there we go. Zoop. Just get every little last bit off the lid. Messy baby. And the lid goes on. Boom. Why? I'm gonna need a thorough cleaning session after this. Alessandro says, I would love to paint, but my shoulder and neck hurt. Sigh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Kendall says, Sheridan, paint along if anyone wants to see. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's so pretty, Kendall. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. I love, love, love the colors you chose. It's apparently for your reel opener. I started early May. It's on theme of stream, so I thought I'd share. Absolutely. I'm getting a spam risk call from Cannon Beach. No thanks, Cannon Beach. No spam for me. This is absolutely beautiful, Kendall. I love the line work as well as those colors just make it sing. Ooh. And the way you did the tulips, that's really beautiful. Those bottom ones especially I love. They look like a graphic kind of lamp. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah. Shad Pow. Just a little bit of this ultramarine will probably go a long way. Is that dark enough? Let's see. Let's see it on the replay. Maybe? I mean, they do dry darker, so... Let's just try getting more on the brush. Always goes easier if you have more on the brush. I like it. Sorry, I'm not talking much, but it's really engrossing to paint. I don't know, there's something about it. So, I'm trying to like zoom myself out. I'm gonna stand up just to get a little bit of a perspective on it, then look away, and then look back at it. Yeah, I think I can add a lot to it with colored pencil, honestly. I learned a lot from it. It's definitely not exactly as I would want it to be, but that's not the point of this, so. I think we did get what we wanted out of it, which was, I had so much fun just working on it. I think now, what I'm gonna do is let it dry and then go over it with some colored pencils and see what I can do. Actually, before we go, I think what I would like to do is try to revive some of our cream so that we can get a few little extra dabs off the edges, because I think a broken edge area is just so lovely. Whenever you can make it feel like it's not just one massive shape. And thank you all for joining today. This was definitely a nice mental health break for me. I'm looking for breaks more and more these days, so it's really helpful to have a place where I can work and break, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like I'm being productive, but also giving myself that time to breathe. This is always my favorite part of a piece, when you get to add little bits and bobs, the glowy touches or whatever, you know? The bits. Also, I think we did a fairly good job of using up the paint on our palette. I might do a little sketch in my my little books that we've been doing gouache stuff in, just to use up the last bits of paint, but I think we're fairly successful in getting the right amounts. I definitely want to learn to abstract even more. It's a continual effort, as always, but I think that that is my goal, is just to be able to abstract the heck out of things and have you still recognize them as the things that I want them to be. Just to make them so pretty. I'm gonna put little dots in here too. I mean, obviously this is an exercise in just straight up like making a thing look pretty, because there's no story here, there's no narrative that I am either telling well or betraying. So in that way the goal is pretty singular, and that helps, you know? Helps narrow it down. I think my least favorite of the flowers is this one. Something about how the petals worked out just doesn't really fit and fancy. But that's all right. What do you think? All right. Let's see here. Shake says, Rin says, Clever Devlin says, this is beautiful. Thank you. Rin says, this has been a very relaxing stream. Happy to watch you play with new medium too. I'm very happy to watch me play with it as well. Jake says, this was lovely and this painting is so pretty. Thank you. Kendall says, okay, complex animation thumbnails in paint along. Amazing. I can't wait to see. Everybody go to the Discord in the description and go check out the paint along channel to see Kendall's work. It is amazing. Oh my gosh. So it's full of books and the book comes out. Oh my gosh. I need to see this all together. Beautiful work as always, Kendall. Kendall never disappoints. Rin says, "'Tis gorgeous." Thank you, thank you. All right, so a little bit shorter than 2 hours today, but I think that we made a great impact with our work, and that really is the big goal, right? Again, there is a reference photo that I used for this. If you want to check that out, it is in the paint along section, so you can paint this whenever you please. And I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for being here. Oh yeah, before next time, get vaccinated, get boosted, wear a mask, be kind to yourself and to others, and remember that you are very much loved. See ya next Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific. Bye! And now it's the after party with only me! So, check out the other streamers on Behance because they're awesome. Sorry Anthony wasn't here, but he'll be back. Alessandra says, "Oh, I didn't know you were doing a short stream, but okay." It's okay, Alessandra. I'll be back. I'll be back for you. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. See ya for reals this time.